number, we learned that Cecilia has been estranged from her family for 10 years because her parents did not approve of her marrying Miles because of his race.
Cecilia's parents have never met their granddaughter, Noelle.
Cecilia refuses to go and see her father in the hospital.
Cecilia's mother, Marge, threatens Cecilia that if she doesn't come see her ailing father, that she will completely cut her out of the family will.
This enrages Cecilia, who decides to do some digging into the family's financial and personal records.
At the same time, a scandal erupts on Celebrity Dance-Off just before the season finale. One of the celebrities on the show goes on a racist rant on Twitter. Civilians and activists are clamoring for the show to be canceled.
There is talk on the television show The View of the network dropping Celebrity Dance-Off, or at least kicking off that contestant. Cecilia decides to go to work.
She arrives at the studio and rehearsal is in full swing. But the other producers in the network are panicking because people are outside the studio protesting.
The show is getting a lot of negative attention.
Escaping the firestorm, Cecilia heads to her office.
Miles arrives. He notices that something's peculiar in the family's personal records. Together they call a representative from the state of Florida.
Please hold.
Cecilia pretends to be her mother and obtains a copy of her mother's birth certificate.
Hello, thanks for holding. Okay, so what are the letters on your birth certificate?
C-O-L.
C-O-L. Okay. That means colored, miss. Nowadays, it's written differently on the birth certificates. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, thank you. Thank you so much. She always covers her hands with gloves.
And she never likes to go out in the sun.
Oh, never. She always wears a very light foundation.
She wears makeup to bed.
And when we asked her why, she said she wanted to be prepared in case an ambulance came or someone paid a visit to our home in the night.
She had very selective memory about her parents and her past.
She couldn't remember when they were born and when they died. Well, I've never met them. Never even seen any photos of her family.
Well, until now.
I know this woman in the picture, though it's faded and it's worn. I know this woman, she's my mother, though the picture's stained and torn. Put the pieces back together like the fire that was there. Mother dancing, mother flying through the air. Reflecting back at me is her angelic glow. Never pictured her so fair. This woman in the picture with a sacred soul, tightly kept under her skin. I know this woman in the picture. Now I see through different eyes. I know this woman, or I thought so, because I see through all the lies. Hid the past and where I came from, locked it up throughout the key. Mother dancing, mother floating away from me. Mother wishing, mother wanting, mother willing to let go. Pain once it's hidden and forbidden is now something that I know. Mother dancing, mother dreaming, mother weaving her own past. What was sealed is now revealed. Truth prevails at last. About that woman in the picture, perfect mother, perfect wife. But it's the picture that she painted makes me question my whole life. Always followed in her footsteps. In the dark I couldn't see. If I finally know the woman in the picture, I'll be free.
running, dancers, actors, everyone. You want to just move back, and then also we'll run down the line, and you can just introduce yourself quickly. Hello.
Oh, hello, I'm Michael Andreas.
I'm Callie Miles.
I'm Hector Flores.
I'm Rita Sanimura.
I'm Miranda West.
Hi, I'm Beth Fox.
Concepto Moravito.
Owen Beans. David Andre.
Hey, Alyssa Furman.
And I'm George McGrath.
Up here with us while I'm here.
Show. Great job, guys. That's a lot to learn in like that amount of time.
Yeah.
Music and dancing all at the same time. I'm like totally impressed. Totally impressed. So I loved this. I thought it was really exciting the way that the way that you decided to open the show, like with sort of Modern Times and with the TV show,
Yeah.
sort of like has that feel, like you said, like Dancing with the Stars, or So You Think You Can Dance, or something like that. The thing that I was confused about at the very beginning was who the guy was with the mic. Is that him? Like, the only thing, like, for some reason, I was just really confused. And then he introduces himself later, and then, oh, it's like that. So did you play with, like, doing that in the beginning, or?
It's shitty. What it is.
What's that?
No. He should introduce himself at the beginning, and the only reason I have him do that thing is because I wanted this cinematic Michael Bennett shit, and I got it, and it's wrong. But no, like towards the end, because I wanted this like reveal. But no, you're right. We should know that he's like the Ryan Seacrest.
Well, the show starts so conceptual with the clump and then expanding, and then you see that there's this obvious relationship between the older woman, and I mean that's really, really well done. And then all of a sudden it flashes into something else, and I think that's a good spot for him to.
Right. I think like he should probably, as they're dancing through, he should probably be like, "Welcome to Celebrity Dance Off."
Right, because then
right.
it like we are at ease because we know what's happening, we know what the scene is, we know it's all set, and then we know who all these other people are. You know, the dancers.
And playing devil's advocate, for me, I'm sort of like the tiles keep getting laid down. So I'm sort of like, I like when the audience is like, what? And they go, oh. But if we're confusing them for too long.
At the very beginning, I think it's just slightly confusing. I love the choreography. I think the choreography was lovely. I mean, it has a lot of sort of your flair with sort of the technique and the flow and how everything moves. And I think the piece was very cinematic. So I think that you guys succeeded in that. Like particularly, I love it when the group sort of comes in and covers this, you know, the guy is dead on the sheet and then goes away. I'm wondering if there's a way to help with the cinematic part, if the dancers or the actors, whoever are sort of making that happen, aren't always like mass exits, like mass choir exit and entrance. Is there a way to have them to be part of the
more rehearsal? I'm going to explain. No, that's a great observation.
It's very true.
I'm going to explain one quick thing, and I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining, is that we literally staged the second number in 25 minutes. And then we have just been like judging it if we finish the first one, because the first one was so complicated. That's why.
Well, it's very well before you got to that. I don't even look at it that much. I think one thing that I would suggest for your dancers, because it's a lot of choreography, even though it's repetition, is to, it seems that it's choreographed very sort of grounded, even though it has a lightness to it. And I feel like they're dancing really light. If they dance with a little more guts and weight in their bottom half, like 'cause the lyrics are what, stomping, stomping, and they're so like, it's so light.
It does feel like it just needs more.
Exactly, and I think that comes with more rehearsal. And then also, don't let them faces. They're so concentrated on the choreography that I wanted to have like the faces on Dancing with the Stars. Like those people are like out to sell it. Yeah. So I think that's really good. Congratulations. I love that. It's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful work. I piggybacking a little bit on some of the stuff you said, or I'll and all that for that. But I wasn't necessarily confused at the host. I I feel like a lot of this, some of the things I might say, it would sort itself out with production kind of thing and like focus things. I think for me, I hear the weighted kind of choreography. I think to find the real difference and shift between when we're on air and then when we're like actually like, so yeah, when you're actually focusing on the couple and what they're, and kind of actually like, so shift becomes very much like, I loved what you did when the first scene was happening. You had them, they were in the line facing upstage and everyone, you know, you touched and then the next touched and like, so I kind of was like, oh, I want to see more of that. Like each time when we shift into the scenes, if everything could become more of like, we're in this together kind of thing, or what, like you're voying on their, like, I got confused as like, I feel like when they were upstage, having to continue to perform. Yes. Which I like, but I kind of feel like that performance can even become a little bit like, because we don't know what the story is yet, this is the opening number. Sure. Like let's foreshadow a little bit and like be like, okay, like let's actually like find that like they are supportive in her finding her family and what you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like I would love to see like the mood shift into almost just like a little bit more of like
because the truth is, and I was telling her, there's really no storytelling when we're on the TV show.
Yeah.
So you don't want too much of it. Because the story is when like that flips and there's that magical world.
Yeah, so I think in the match, I'd love to see a difference in, because then I think your like on-air choreography will even just like be able to like lift up that even more. So like just really like not even like meet in the middle, like just drop the bottom here and then have the heightened like, you know, Ryan Seacrest kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's, I don't know, it's, you know, it's quick to see something for the first time, and I know that you guys are just in the development stage. No, I mean, I loved it, and it was always, and I followed her, I followed the story, and I followed it, and I loved it. I was like, oh, he goes there. Yeah, I love it. And then the second piece, I think I feel like too, like, I actually, and now hearing that, it was something that was a little bit, because the opening number is, there's so many layers to it. But I wanted to see, I just wanted to zero in a little bit more, and I found myself watching something that probably I shouldn't be. Yeah, and again, that can sort itself out with production values, but
were there moments where you found yourself watching things you shouldn't have been?
Well, I think in general, I think I was also watching. I was like, oh, why am I? Who are they? What are they? You know what I mean? Rather than really feeling like I was, like the sheep moment. I liked it when the sheep became, you know, the screen that she evolved from there.
It's my bag of tricks.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I like that. I think that piece especially is really, when you guys are able to like continue to work on this, really carve out as to, it's not just more bodies on the stage. You're really having, like that moment for me was like, I understood that couple and then I understood that they were failing, and I feel like it's just,
and then when the extra bodies came in, they need to be like specific people.
I think so, either specific people or really go with that idea that they're just storytellers. Yeah, I feel like it's finding, so that also could, in the way that you're looking at this opening number, and those storytellers, that when it is about the scenes, we're gonna sit with them throughout the rest of the evening as our storytellers. If that's the direction we go. You know what I mean? So I think that and then we know them as puppets that are gonna help us tell the story. Right? Yeah. Do I do it?
Do you think that there's a link between sort of the conceptualizing of the storytellers in the second number with the opening number? So when they're doing all that slow motion and stuff, it's not really, they're not on the show then. They're sort of an extension of the scene that's happening.
Yeah, I think so.
And that will link the choreography a little bit more together. So it doesn't seem, all of a sudden we have this big opening number, and then we go into this sort of weirdness in the second song. Weirdness meaning like it's not choreographed, it's really conceptual with the cinematic movement.
So I think if they develop or look more into the like, to really identifying those two things right at the top, I think you're going to kind of, so then as we continue on the story, we really feel like we've, you know. So I think it definitely could be, and it could be in staging, but I think certainly, I go back to the line when they were touching each other, and I was like, oh, okay, I see, and then I just want that to keep going.
think those are like my favorite moments too.
Yeah.
Because what I also said too is when we created this moment where like they came through the middle.
Yeah.
So like can they kind of become the car that's crashing and like could it like crash and then all of a sudden it's like we're back on the show.
That's exactly it. Because I think I found myself a little distracted when they came through the center. Because I was like, oh, what am I supposed to be watching now? Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm supposed to be still in the start. So I love that. Yeah, if they play out the scene.
Right.
Well, and remember, I think lighting is our friend, but again, no excuses.
No. I do think something like that for sure.
Right, would help with being
Would help, but we have to be ready for that too. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Let's open it up to the floor.
Yes.
Who has something they'd like to say? Anyone? How do you think the cinematic movement progressed the story? Do you think that it distracted? Do you think any of the choreography distracted? It was one of the mission statements they wanted to work on. Anyone? Anything you like? Anything you didn't like? You were confused by? Yes.
So for the choreography, that cinematic aspect,
Uh-huh.
that came to play in the second half of that big opening number when she was passing through the dancers as a camera would.
Right.
Like, that's how I was watching her. I didn't get that as much in the beginning. It was just a big production number, but I saw it change and evolve into like she's calling it, she's producing her stage managing it, but then she is the camera moving through it. It made me focus on her more.
Yeah. Cool. I will say I was definitely more focused. Exactly. Thank you. Because I was definitely more focused in the second half on her being the
On the second half.
second half of the opening.
Second half of
He
the
said
first
she was
one,
speaking
okay.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew exactly what words to look.
Instead of being two different things that are interacting in the same space, they kind of merged, but you knew where to focus. I guess
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Perhaps that plays into the idea that Christopher was saying too, that like we weren't set up for success super well from the start. So like if we had, maybe we would have seen that distinction easier.
It's possible.
I can see where you are in your head. Like it's got that sort of that opening 20 minutes of Dreamgirls. It's got some of that Hairspray feel. Like I can see where your inspiration comes from and what you want. Without the pieces and the lights, I think that it's hard in this room. Because I kept finding myself going, is the camera with her? Where? I wasn't
So in real
sure.
life, I think that there are like industrial lights that go by. She is with a camera person. There's a camera that rolls, and we have that like prologue, and we're in like super space. And I think the set is like still coming in from everywhere as that whole opening sequence is happening. It's like the studio is like building around the dancers. It's like they're birthing the studio.
It's really interesting. I also love, I know that was just sort of set the story up with those four people, but it was intriguing to me that all of a sudden we saw people that weren't their characters, but they were their characters, sort of explaining what was happening. It was a really interesting, I don't even know if there's a place for that in the show at all, but I found it interesting. And another thing, this lovely young actress here, when she like she gets a phone call and she finds out that she's not who her mother was not who she thought she was. That's a place where I would play with a lot more emotion. Because I think for me, it felt it was shock, which was really, really good. And then I wanted more roller coasters of emotions there, that sort of Sally moment, like going forward into the song. So that way we had something pushing us forward. But
No, absolutely.
Totally. You basically just have like filler to get you into the song right now.
Yeah.
Right.
In the real story, like, I mean, I was like this. I was like, when I watched it, I mean, I never forget this woman said, I woke up a white woman and left this building a black woman. I just thought I would have no idea what that would be like. That's incredible.
right.
And I think there's room for, I mean, what you saw in the second number, I think, is really a bare bones structure of what we hoped to do. So I think it is absolutely a good bare bones, but I think layering some of that emotion on top is definitely something we both wanted to do more of. So.
Do you have any thoughts on the music?
Not about the music, but the woman in the picture, the second number during the Assault Dream Ballet, I thought it was a very interesting choice to have the father who's coming to save the daughter being assaulted be vocal. I felt that distracted from the text that Cecilia was singing, and I was like, no, because you already established it was a silent dream ballet, and then he speaks, and I was like, oh crap, I'm not getting it.
That's,
We already know what he's doing.
by the way, that's my sociopath thing. Well, guess whose idea that was? I felt that it was missing when we were doing it, mainly because I was also feeling like it was unfinished, and I was like trying to put Band-Aids on it.
I think in the future, we would probably just bring some more stylistic zhuzh to it, so that the whole piece, right?
Right, I think my point is that I think that you did enough without needing to.
Without even needing to
For me, it was enough without vocal, because I then replayed it in my brain without.
Fair, yeah.
And I thought it was enough, because the actor's face is pretty well done.
Cool. Okay, we have a question over here.
Yeah, please, let's take your question.
The moment of discovery, I agree with the guy that moment can have more emotional heft.
More just weight to it.
Yeah, absolutely, because it would be a little more shocking than it seemed like it felt
Yeah.
recent.
Uh-huh.
And then also the moment where the young mother was lifted off and the lyric in the music was that I'm free. That just felt inappropriate at that moment because for the mother, she wasn't free. And that's what was hitting me was like, why is she lifted and feeling like she's free when she's the one that's lived this life of bondage, of hiding who she actually is, which has got to be absolutely horrific to deal with.
Yeah.
So that was a disconnect for me.
Yeah, no, that's.
You're right. We
excellent.
wanted to
No.
put some sprinkles on the cupcake, and while doing it, we didn't tell the story. So you know what? Let's cut the lift. The second time, we just have you go up there and do what we did before. I love what you said about the sort of emotional connection, because I think what's interesting is that we, in a way, we sort of want to villainize her mother a little bit for how she sort of turned her back with the father, who was actually sort of racist. And I think her initial reaction might be like confusion and then anger, but then she might actually sympathize with her mother and start to go, wow, things were that complicated for you that you had to pretend you were somebody else. I think by knowing her secret, she'll actually get to know her mother better.
But I think it's true, the visual that was created doesn't necessarily support that, so.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's probably time for us to talk and then see this one more time with a little bit of adjustment, right?
Yeah, well, Shane has a
Oh, you have something? Yeah. Lynn, agree?
No, I think we were just kind of chatting about, get a few thoughts about, I think one of the comments about performing more when you're on the TV show. But I think now if we can look and carve into the kind of what their role is. There's two roles, I think, storytellers and also, storytellers in both ways. Storytellers in the like, we are because we are staying her role, her everyday role, where she's the boss, and then she's the boss, and you all are her, not that way, but like you are like, and this is our job. We're gonna be like really cheesy, right? Crap. And then to then see her having to deal with her real life while she's boss lady. I mean, we all go through that. It's like, and I think to further identify that as a strong female, she can do both, but that it is a little bit of a struggle sometimes too. But I think your comment about, I think the more informed the company is on what their role is, I think will help sort out kind of how they're able to attack the storytelling more in this.
So yeah, so I guess I would say like, you could be more invested in the magical end of the story.
I think this is